The New York Times this week published a story talking about Donald Trump's very clearly failing health. And wouldn't you know it, the thin-skinned president baby bitch of the United States couldn't take it. He couldn't ignore it. We can't just let this slide because somebody said something about me that I don't like, so I have to devote my entire day to throwing a temper tantrum over this. A normal person in these circumstances would just say like, screw it, right? Donald Trump, again, I genuinely say this, he's got the thinnest skin of anybody, not just that's ever served as president, I think of anybody that's ever existed. I don't think there has ever been a bigger pathetic piece of garbage with thin skin like Donald Trump. He is such a baby. He's a bitch, as I've said, just flat out a baby bitch. So he throws this massive temper tantrum this week about this article in the New York Times, which correctly had pointed out that the guy can't seem to stay awake during any of his events. He had an MRI that even he says, I don't know what it was for. And he got the MRI after, immediately after taking a cognitive exam. They did the cognitive exam and then they were like, you know what? Head on down to this room and get in this big machine. Okay, as far as we know, that's the sequence of events that happened. And then Trump finally came out a month later, is like, I don't know why I had it. You were probably told, you just don't remember. So the New York Times is pointing all that out, something that it's way past time for them to point out, that he has no energy, he's not working, his staff has already reduced his schedule of working time each day down from 4 hours to, I guess, 2 hours. And Trump couldn't take it. He couldn't take people learning the truth about low energy, sleepy Trump. So he got on Truth Social and had an absolute meltdown of all meltdowns. And I'm going to read that for you now, and bear with me because this is a long one. The creeps at the failing New York Times are at it again. I won the 2024 presidential election in a landslide, winning all 7 swing states, the popular vote, and the Electoral College by a lot. Okay. That wasn't in question. At no point in the New York Times article did they say, we don't think he won the election. No, that's not a thing. That is something that somebody with dementia would say. And the reason I bring that up is because people with dementia always fall back into repeating things that they do know, that they do remember. And that's what Trump is doing here. It's not relevant in any way to the story at hand, but he says it because that is a soothing mechanism. It's a thing he can remember, so he repeats it to self-soothe. He continues, I won our nation's districts, and by the way, he spelled won, O-N-E, not W-O-N. I won our nation's districts by 2,750 to 550, a complete wipeout. I settled 8 wars, have 48 new stock market highs. Our economy is great, and our country is respected again all over the world, respected like never before. Okay, none of that is true. You didn't end a single war. We have not had 48 new stock market highs. We've had several new highs, absolutely. Not 48. It's weird that you would pick that number. We're not respected by anyone around the world. We're a laughing stock. World leaders, literally, when they get together, I've talked about it, I've shown you the videos, they are laughing at you behind your back. Some have laughed at you to your face. And of course, the economy is essentially in a recession. At least 22 different states and the Washington District of Columbia, are officially in a recession. And I do believe the rest of the country is as well. You're just refusing to release the data, so we can't exactly, pinpoint when the recession started. But it's obvious to everybody we're in a recession. The last administration had the highest inflation in history. Nope. I have already brought that down to normal. No, inflation is up from where it was a year ago under Biden. Biden was bringing it down. You're sending it back up. And prices, including groceries, are coming down. Once again, grocery prices are up at least 1.4% as an average this year alone. To do this requires a lot of work and energy, and I have never worked so hard in my life. Yet despite all this, the radical left lunatics in the soon-to-fold New York Times did a hit piece on me that I am perhaps losing my energy despite facts that show the exact opposite. Dude, you're falling asleep. You were falling asleep. Had the guy at the recent, healthcare thing not passed out, you wouldn't have woken up. And then you stood there like a guy that just got up from a nap, and you're like, what? Oh, crap. Jesus Christ. They know this is wrong. It is almost everything that they write about me, including election results, all purposely negative. The cheap rag is truly an enemy of the people. The writer of the story, Katie Rogers, who is assigned to write only bad things about me, is a third-rate reporter who is ugly, both inside and out. Despite all of this, I have my highest poll... All right. I made it as far as I could, folks. Made it as far as I could. I have my highest poll numbers. I can't even complete that. No, you literally don't. You're the least liked president in over 50 years. You have the lowest poll numbers within your own party of any Republican in my lifetime, including George W. Bush. Everybody hates you. You have no energy. You're a ranting, rambling, demented old fool. You don't know what you're talking about at any given point. You're living in an alternative reality. Your own supporters are turning against you. They're mocking you now. You're done. Give up. Call it quits and go home. Because you can go out there and tell all the lies that you want, but poll after poll proves nobody's buying it anymore. You're just an old man with thin skin barking at the dark. Hey everyone, we are maybe just days away from hitting 1 million subscribers. Fewer than 15,000 subscribers to go at this point, and we need your help. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and tell your friends. If you have progressive-minded individuals in your life that are not subscribed to Fair and Balanced, please send them a link, send them a video, let them see what it's all about, and encourage them to subscribe. We are hoping to hit that 1 million mark before the end of this year, but I think we can do it even quicker than that. So again, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. And don't forget to share the channel with your friends. And as always, like and comment on the videos.